In Libya, where dozens of people are reported dead after the security forces opened fire on mourners at another funeral procession. It happened in the eastern city of Benghazi. Witness accounts suggest the streets there are now largely under the control of anti-government protesters. A hospital official said at least 200 people have been killed in that city alone. We're also hearing tonight that a curfew has been announced in the capital, Tripoli, and that's significant. There are reports that tens of thousands of people are heading to a town called AlJazeera near Tripoli to burn down Muammar Gaddafi's compound. Imran Khan reports on the latest from Libya.
The streets of Benghazi on Sunday, a building burns. Just hours earlier, Ahmed, an eyewitness, describes the scene.
A lot of gun artillery and a lot of gunshots were heard. I cannot put you can hear it right now, but 5 minutes ago it was really loud and clear. And also on the south side, which is 3 kilometers south of the army barricade, which is the police academy, it's burning now. It's definitely burning, big black smoke coming out.
In the morgue, one man takes a last look at his relative and murmurs he was not armed. Also from Benghazi, this video claims to show what protesters believe is a mercenary, a hired killer, contracted by the Libyan regime to attack demonstrators. Unrest is spreading across the country. Here in Al-Bayda, thousands gather near the main mosque, another city rocked by days of protests against the country's leadership. Chanting, "There's no God but Allah," mourners carry the body of one of those killed. And there's more chaos. Anti-Gaddafi graffiti sprayed on walls, and a voice through a loudspeaker saying, "There's no state here." Reports of casualties are running high and constantly rising. The city's hospital overwhelmed, the morgues filled with bodies, and more are still coming. On Libyan state television, the first sign that the country might be in difficulty. Images of burning buildings, a result of the protests. It's a change from what they'd been airing earlier. No mention of any anti-government protests, instead showing supporters of the Libyan leader on the streets of Tripoli. But while thousands remain on the streets in various cities across the country, it's becoming harder and harder to ignore their calls. Imran Khan, AlJazeera.
Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. Ahmed Bentar, a doctor at the main hospital in Benghazi, and he told me what the situation was like there.
The situation right now, we are receiving casualties from the gunshot fires in the city. We have received since morning now, we have like 10 dead and more than 60 injured. Some of them have serious injuries.
What sort of injuries are we talking about? Are they all as a result of gunfire or other injuries?
No, gunfire. All gunfire, different types. All of it is gunshots.
And when did the people come in? Was this from last night or is it today, Sunday?
No, it is today. Today we have the funeral for the people died yesterday, and after the funeral we have like clashes between the people on their way to bury their relatives. They have been attacked by the paramilitary forces and by the internal security forces. And they were shooting haphazardly the people.
What are the people who are being brought in telling you, if they're able to talk?
Yes, they are telling us very, very horrible stories. One of them, he was just sitting in front of his house. He was not belong to the protester. He's living nearby. Just paramilitary forces came, drive by, and they shot him in his leg. And he was just sitting in front of his house. He was not doing. He was not protesting. He is not participating in the protest by any means.
How many people do you estimate you have treated or received into the hospital in the last few days?
In our hospital, the last we are now since 17th of February. We have these clashes. Killed are more than 100 we have in AlJazeera hospital. Casualties we have hundreds, more than 900 casualties. And a lot of them, they need operations. We cannot do the operation. We don't have anesthesia drugs. We don't have, our facilities are running out of resources.
The Libyan state television has made no mention of anti-government demonstrations in Benghazi or any other city for that matter. Libyan television broadcast scenes of orderly traffic and deserted public space in the city, and presenters claimed international reports of unrest were incorrect. The leader, Muammar Gaddafi, was shown meeting various supporters, all expressing faith in their leader. Let's talk to Ahmed Salam. He's an activist from the Libyan youth movement who has family in Benghazi, and I doubt if you're going to express faith in the leader. But what are your family telling you?
It's quite a difficult situation at the moment. People are suffering, there's no medical aid coming in, and they've been closed by these foreign mercenaries that have come from different African countries. So they are really struggling. They're looking for people like us to get the Western media, especially the British government and the American administration, to get them to speak out and say something about what's happening. It's quite a sad reality at the moment. It's just killing innocent people at the moment.
So what do you want Washington and London, or even Brussels perhaps?
I'm just wondering how long they're going to wait till they actually come up with a statement, because people are dying by the minute, and these foreign mercenaries have nothing to fear. They got paid 500 a day, and they 12,000 per person they kill, and the country means nothing to them, and that's what they're doing. It's the reports that we have from the inside, where the doctors, my relatives and my friends are actually working in hospital.
So say that again. Mercenaries are paid
500 a day, and then 12,000 per person they kill, and that's what drives them to come to Libya and do the job that they are doing at the moment. And we're asking human rights organizations, the Amnesty International, to see where these people are coming from. They need to be stopped at some point.
Does your family know if the mercenaries were already in Libya, or whether they've been brought in during the disturbances?
A lot of the reports that they say that there's a lot of planes, quite a few planes that land to this airport city, and they come with machine guns, with things that it's not to stop people, it's actually to stop machines and kill.
And where are the mercenaries coming from? Do you know which countries?
Well, the reported countries that they've seen is some of them from Tunisia, from the old regime after Tunisia was collapsed. The other countries are Chad, Niger, Zimbabwe. So it's a mix of other African countries, and obviously he's always had a good contacts in Africa.
You have a cousin, well, you have a member of your family in working in a hospital. We've heard from one doctor in Benghazi. What is your cousin telling you?
It's exactly the same thing. It's there's no space in the hospital anymore. There's more than 200 reported dead people in Benghazi alone, and people are struggling to get blood and urgent medical aid into the city. And people now have started to using schools as a shelter for these patients or for these dead people. And it's reaching a level where people need to get aid from Egypt, which is the closest area.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about, what level this is reaching, because with